Good morning. This is Stephanie Wilson. It says Mendez on the side. I got to edit that name. That is a married name that I no longer have. It's Stephanie Wilson, Stephanie Brent Wilson. But I am coming to you live from my living room, my apartment somewhere in Georgia. And this is my first live, so bear with me, but I intend on uploading many videos, just dealing with everyday life, everyday stressors, things that I have in this mind of mine, um, and just sharing one for me and my healing, and hopefully in the process of it that I can help someone else. So that being said, my first disclaimer is I am in no way a licensed psychologist, counselor, any form of helping someone through their problems legally. But life also affords you sometimes to see things in ways that can actually have you help someone else because you've been through it. You've made it through it. God got you through it. God brought you to it, took you away from it, blessed you, brought you out of it, however you would like to explain it or express it. So, my channel is going to be called Crowned, and one of the reasons is my mother named all of her children very wisely. She did not give us no crazy made up names. My name is Stephanie, and Stephanie means crown. So that's how I came up with crowned. And I use that term a lot because I do feel like I'm crowned because I'm a child of God. So that makes me crowned whether I feel it that day, the next day I don't feel it. I'm saying why, whatever. I'm crowned because I am wonderfully made in His name, not being conceited or anything of that nature. These are the things and that keep me going and keep me in a positive mood is to always know that at the end of the day, God has crowned me. I didn't crown myself. He crowned me the day He made me. I had a joke with a person at my job one day, and he made the comment. He said something about you're ugly or something like that. You have to know the dynamics of the people that I work with. I work in a prison, so there you go. And I'm a prison nurse, and them guys will say anything to you just to whatever, just to get your goal or to make them feel better. Or I don't know, but he said something. I don't know if he said I was ugly or something, but it was in that reference. And I said, "Excuse me, no, I was cute before I was born." And for some reason, that just struck him. He just cracked up and laughed, and he never let me forget it. Every time he see me, he's like, "Hey, cute before you were born." But you see how I turned that all the way around on him? But, and that's how I feel. When God creates us, He creates us to be wonderful. We just don't know it and we don't accept it. But at the end of the day, when He creates us to be wonderful, a reflection of Him. And we get lost along the way doing all other kind of crazy stuff, letting flesh take over, and bam, then we sitting here downing ourselves and dogging ourselves out. And God is like, wait a minute. No, that's not who I created. You are crowned. That's why your mom named you Stephanie. So there. That's how I come up with crowned. But anyway, I sometimes get lost in the sauce, but back at it. Um, and now I'll just give you a little bit about me and the reason I decided to do a blog. One of it was for self help because I'm alone most of the time, other than when I go to work. I see my family every now and then because I'm too far away, but that's another story in itself. But so most of the time I'm alone, and I just at this point in my life, I've had some hurt that has made me step back and just reassess my life and really, really let God lead my life for the 99th time I've said that. And actually, that's what keeps me going, is that I always go back to God. And that sometimes God brings us all the way down so he can make us come back to him and say, wait a minute, whoa, what are you doing? So, anyways, I believe everything happens for a reason, season, or a lifetime. And my daughter can tell you that. I quote that constantly. People come into your life for a reason. The reason is for you to learn something. A season, just to get you through that season of your life. They were there to help you with that. Time for them to go. A lifetime, that means you're connected to them by God and they ain't going nowhere. And that would be people like your children, your siblings, your parents, that best friend that you consider like a sister or a brother. Those are the people that are not going to go anywhere. Your husband, your wife, those are the people that aren't supposed to go anywhere. They're attached to you. You hope they're attached to you. Sometimes you think they're attached to you and they really wasn't supposed to be there. But that's another story too. So the way I'm going to start each blog is I'm going to start with a affirmation, a quote, a poem, something that is dear to me and that I kept and I've always had, or something new that I've learned. But I'm starting it out with a quote. Then we're going to discuss it. Then you're going to leave comments as my subscribers on whatever it is I discussed and tell me your version and what you think so people can have a broad spectrum and not just mine. Because once again, I am not in any way a counselor or anything of that nature. But I have been one of those people that everybody comes to me for some reason. I have no clue because sometimes my own life is all jacked up. So I don't get it. But they come to me for advice quite often about a lot of different things. And I'm like, okay, if this is a gift that God gave me, then maybe I need to use this and share this. So that being said, that's what I'm going to do. Every day I'm going to give a quote. And in that quote, we're going to discuss that quote and what it means. And then at the end, I will give Bible recognition for what I have said. So that way you know that, okay, I'm not just shooting off the cuff, just saying whatever. I'm giving you Bible recognition because I feel like at the end of the day, what's in this Bible is the word. This is what we're supposed to go by. And if most of us would do it, we'd save ourselves a lot of problems. So my first quote of the day, this is my quote, is called "Don't Quit. I don't know who it's by." And actually, when I found it, it was unknown, but I like it so well that I actually got it and put it in a frame. The frame was actually given to me by my sister. I think it's a gorgeous frame. She gave it to me for Christmas, birthday, something one year. But I love it. And one thing about me, I'm me, 100%. So if I sound crazy, I say something weird, whatever, forgive me. Forgive me. I'm also a little sarcastic, so you might hear little smart comments come out, whatever. But I'm me. At the end of the day, that's all I can be, is me. And you too. That's all you can be, is you. Once we accept us for who we are, love us, love ourselves, we have a much more easier, peaceful time at it. But when we trying to be John, Joe, Sue, Paul, Aaron, or whoever, it's not going to work because God didn't make you John, Joe, Sue, Paul, or Aaron. He made you, you. So now here goes the quote. Well, before I do the quote, let me just give you a little background on me so you'll know who I am. First of all, I'm 57 years old. I have one child, 3 grandchildren. So she made up for them other children that I probably should have had for her sake, not mine, because I wish I would have had, one more just for her sake. So she could have a brother or sister that she was tight with. But didn't happen that way at 57 and ain't gonna happen now. But anyways, I'm 57 years old. At this time, I am single. Just recently got out of the worst horrible decision of a relationship that I was in. But sometimes I think that things happen for 2 reasons. One, it's our karma. Sometimes we got our karma because we gave something out that we weren't supposed to give. We hurt somebody, we did something we wasn't supposed to, and I definitely believe it's sevenfold. It's coming back. And sometimes it's to teach us a lesson, back to that reason season or a lifetime. So in my case, I kind of think it was a little both. I think it was a little karma and a little lesson all in one. But anyway, it's a done deal. So I have moved on. I'm moving on. I'm dealing. I have days where it's wonderful. I don't even think about them. And then there's other days that I'm like, okay, why did this happen? But that's life. We had to get through it. So, and after this situation, I have decided to be celibate probably for about the third or fourth time in my life. The longest I've gone is like 2 years. I'm trying to make it longer until the ring is on the finger and the commitment is made. If that doesn't happen, then guess what? I'm going to be happy and content in knowing that God has me at the end of the day. And that's not just because I'm single at this time, just how I'm just saying it. No. These big old eyes have been open. I feel like there's too much sun or something. The sun is like from this window right here. But we'll get it. And just, bear with me. So, I am a nurse by trade. I'm an LPN. Like I said, I work in corrections, have been in corrections almost 10 years. August 2020, I am done. Yes, I'm so ready to come out of corrections. I think that being in that environment just really does something to you. It does something to your character because you're constantly in that environment with all of them different demon spirits. Not all the guys are like the worst guys in the world, but sometimes those spirits is too much. All day, every day is too much. You have to really go in armed up, prayed up every day before you go in there. So none of that crap jumps off on you. And it does. Sometimes you get angry, you get upset, you talk crazy, and you're thinking, well, what the heck am I angry for? I'm free. I didn't commit a crime. I'm not locked up. I couldn't do something to make me be locked up. So why am I upset with this guy over here? Because he said something stupid. You see, sometimes they can push a button and you don't want to admit that they're pushing the button, but that's what they're doing. And they know it. And they like to do that because they have nothing else to do all day long but antagonize the staff or other inmates. So that's what I do. And not to say that it's been like the worst choice of places to work, because I worked a little bit where I've been in the hospital for 7 years. I worked for Kaiser. I've done nursing homes. I've done it all. So, that's another misconception that nurses that work in prison, that's all they know. They don't know nothing else. They've never done anything else. I worked one of the top-notch hospitals in Georgia, Northside Hospital, Atlanta. So at 1 year I was there, they was number one in the country for the number of babies that was born. Celebrity babies too, not just everyday people. Although celebrities are everyday too, they just need to realize it. But anyways, that's another story. Okay, so that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I struggle sometimes. I work every day. Sometimes the bills don't meet. You got to do what you got to do. I'm just everyday hardworking female on my own doing the damn thing. So that's me. Like I said, I'm kind of quirky, sarcastic, loyal to a fault. Funny, I guess, because people always laughing, and I'm like, I didn't even know that was funny. So I guess I am. But I'm just me. At the end of the day, I can't be nothing else but me. Okay, now here's the first quote. It's called "Don't Quit." Like I said, I don't know who wrote this. I found this one day on YouTube, and I don't know how I ended up with the actual quote in writing. But when I found it, I hurried up and grabbed it. I don't know if I was doing some of my secondhand shopping and all that stuff that I like to do. I don't know. I like to go in like the Goodwills and thrift stores, and you just find some of the most unique things. One man's junk is another man's treasure. That's what they say. But anyway, here it is. It's called Don't Quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems afar. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things go wrong that you mustn't quit. And like I said, Arthur Unknown. But this right here is just like, this is like one of my favorite quotes. And one of the reasons is because it says don't quit, because you might be right where you need to be, but then you quit and you don't get there. And as an example for myself, I have always been the type to give everybody else advice. You know, they come to me, like I said, about all kind of stuff, school, relationships, their kids, whatever. And my life in no way is perfect. So I never get why that happens. It's nowhere close to perfect. I've made so many mistakes and things have gone on. I just don't get it. But that's who God made me to be. So I'm accepting that. But I give advice to everyone else. But I have this thing within myself where I do get so far and I quit. And this is something that I'm trying to work on for myself, where it's with schooling, relationships. Sometimes I think I sabotage relationships myself so they don't go no further and I don't get hurt. It's a protection mode. I don't know what it is. Um, just life in general. Just, I mean, like I've been total vegan and then I go back. You know, I'll go completely back. Some of the things I've learned, I stick with, like water. I started doing that years ago and I never stopped. I always drink plenty of water. Um, school is the number one. I have started so many times and didn't finish. Or I tried the quick way. Oh, I'm gonna do it this way. This right here will work better. Oh, I don't want to sit in the classroom. Oh, I'm gonna do the online thing. Oh, going back and forth and just not making a decision, sticking to it, following it through. So that I've done. Um, Same thing with work, places I live. Oh, I don't want to live here anymore. I'm leaving. For no reason, really. Just like, okay, I'm tired of living over here. Time for me to move. Don't know why I do that. But I would guess, I don't know if I'm running from something or I get too comfortable over here and I don't want it to be comfortable no more. I want to go over here where I got to build it up and work it up again. I just really don't know what the reason is for that. But that's what this blog is about, is soul searching for all of us. Maybe you guys can put a point in there. Oh, and no negativity. If you say anything negative, you say anything bad about what someone else said on the site or what you think of me or you think of that person or whatever the case may be, delete. You will be deleted because this is about positivity and growing. And that's it. So on this, don't quit. It's true. It's an upward battle. It's an upward hill daily, 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 working at not quitting, keeping a positive attitude. No, don't take yourself so serious sometimes. Laugh, enjoy others. Just surround yourself by positive people. But whatever you do, don't quit. Because when you quit, you gave up, you never saw what the end was going to be. The end could have been wonderful. Somebody could have then at the end get ready to walk up to you and bless you with $1 million because God put it in their spirit to do it. I don't know, I'm being way out there, but at the end of the day, if that was the case, you quit, so you never got to that blessing. So you gotta keep moving. You gotta keep striving. You gotta pray for your family every day. Pray for yourself. And something I try to do daily is pray. And it doesn't have to be some long, drawn, mystical kind of prayer. I talk to God the same way I'm talking on this YouTube. God knows me better than anybody else, so why should I try to fake it and make it sound like it's something it's not, and it ain't me? And I'm deep, but I'm pretty straight to the point. I don't go into all that mystical stuff. Because at the end of the day, the only spirit that matters is that of God and yours. The relationship you have with Him, the building of the relationship with Him, that's it. That's all that really counts. And then it takes you to where He wants you to do. He blesses you to be a blessing to others at the end of the day. And I feel like that's what this blog is about, me being a blessing to others. Okay, it's getting windy. And one thing I do know in the life that I've lived is that you can really only hold somebody's attention about 30 minutes, and then they're going to be on to the next thing. So I'm going to try not to make these more than 30 minutes long. So just comment in the subscription what you feel about quitting and how maybe in your life you quit and you wish you wouldn't have, or you wish you wouldn't quit at all, and what you did to improve on that, on quitting. My improvement is even though I might quit, even though I might fall, even though I might go through things, I get up and I start over. I cry, kick, fuss, cuss, whatever it takes for me to get through it. And then I get up and I move. So that's the way I get out of the quitting mode. I pray, I do whatever I got to do to bring my spirit back to where it needs to be. And sometimes it takes being alone. It takes praying. It takes soul searching. Still going on with your day. You can't just I ain't going to work. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't paying no bills. You can't do that. You got to live. Man, it don't work. Don't eat. So now, as I said before, I'm going to end everyone with a biblical quote or whatever I think of. And sometimes I think the quitting, we got to free our minds. We have to free our minds. We have to put our minds in another mindset that we won't quit, that we will continue. So the quote that came up in my head for this is, anybody that knows me knows that I love reggae, and Bob Marley is like one of my favorites. And there's a lot others. I just don't listen to Bob Marley. There's others that I like, but Bob Marley is like one of my favorites as far as reggae goes. And I think for the most part, most Americans that like reggae pretty much started out with Bob Marley. But anyway, he has this song called Redemption Song. And one of the things he says in there, this is a quote of Bob Marley. This is not mine. This is Bob Marley's. But one of the things he says in this song, he says, emancipate us from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. And that is like one of my favorite things. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. So at the end of the day, your healing is going to come through God, and it's going to be because you made that choice that you wanted to heal. You can fuss at everybody, you can tell everybody about it, the person that did you wrong, you can go off on them, you can do whatever. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to free your mind and change your mindset and not quit and be more positive. And then finally, my biblical quote, Galatians 6:9. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. So as long as God gives you a breath every day, you don't fall out somewhere and it's time for you to go home to meet your maker, whatever, every day you get up. If you faint not, you won't quit. And that is the end of this YouTube Live. I hope everyone enjoys it. If you hit like, subscribe. They will get better as I grow. This is my first one. Today is November the 24th, Sunday morning, and it is about, let me see what time it is. It's about 10:29. So, that being said, God bless. Don't quit. Remember, being you is the best you can be.